Paramount stands as one of the major film production companies and has maintained that status for more than 100 years. They were among the founding giants of the industry. During this extensive period, countless legendary films have begun with that recognizable image of stars arranged in a circular pattern above a mountain peak. Most viewers have likely witnessed this opening sequence numerous times. Unfortunately, recent indicators suggest Paramount has been facing considerable challenges. Here's a striking illustration of their struggles. If someone had put $100 into the company back in 2019, that investment would currently be valued at approximately $30. This demonstrates a significant erosion of investor confidence in the studio. Contributing to this declining confidence is the company's $14 billion debt burden, which has been gradually decreasing but raises questions about their ability to maintain scheduled payments. These obligations include roughly $1 billion in annual interest charges. The situation escalated in early 2024 when their credit rating received a downgrade. About 30 days following that announcement, another significant development occurred when CEO Bob Bakish departed from the role he'd occupied for 8 years. Reports indicated his exit resulted from conflicts with ownership and the board, who believed his strategy lacked the boldness needed to restore the company's position. His replacement came in the form of 3 internal executives who developed a fresh strategy projected to cut expenses by $500 million annually. Their plan has already resulted in closing their television production studio and eliminating approximately 2,000 positions, which represents 15% of their workforce. Perhaps the most significant development is the anticipated combination with production firm Skydance Media. Should the deal complete, Skydance's head David Ellison would assume leadership at Paramount. Notably, he's the son of Larry Ellison, who co-founded Oracle and previously served as its CEO. We believe that to address this moment, technology and content must function seamlessly together. Given all these developments, this video will examine Paramount's 3 business divisions, specifically their origins, evolution, and current status. Quick favor, if you found this video interesting, subscribing helps us cover more rise and fall stories like this. Kindly do please. Filmed entertainment. Beginning with filmed entertainment, which primarily encompasses movies, this was historically their core operation. During cinema's early era, Paramount essentially dominated the field. Their 1927 film Wings claimed the inaugural Academy Award for Best Picture. They promoted themselves with the tagline emphasizing that any Paramount production represented the finest entertainment available, reflecting their reputation for quality filmmaking. Their brilliant strategy at the time involved vertical integration, controlling production, distribution, and exhibition venues. However, this approach eventually proved problematic. The same year Wings debuted, rival studio Warner Bros. Released The Jazz Singer, recognized as the first commercially viable sound film, or talkie. By the 1930s, sound films were surpassing silent ones in number, forcing Paramount to invest heavily in modernizing their theaters originally designed for silent presentations. This transition coincided with the onset of the Great Depression, predictably reducing ticket purchases. These combined factors put Paramount in a precarious situation, ultimately forcing them into bankruptcy. However, as economic conditions improved and they drew audiences back using prominent talent like Bing Crosby, Paramount managed to recover temporarily. In 1948, theater ownership backfired again when the Supreme Court ruled that production companies couldn't own exhibition venues, as this would grant excessive control and create monopolistic conditions. While the ruling affected the entire industry, Paramount was specifically targeted and suffered the greatest impact. Within 12 months, they divested all theaters, causing revenue to plummet dramatically. Complicating matters further, this occurred just as televisions were proliferating in American households, which naturally affected theater attendance, as people opted to watch TV at home. By 1966, Paramount ranked among the weakest film studios when Gulf and Western acquired them, gradually helping them recover. Throughout the 1970s, Paramount distributed numerous successful films, with the most significant being The Godfather and its sequel. Worth mentioning is that Michael Eisner held the position of Paramount's president until 1984, when he transitioned to Disney, where he significantly contributed to that company's revival. I wanted to emphasize these major fluctuations in Paramount's film history because they demonstrate both their long-established, solid foundation in the business and how heavily their success or failure depends on public reception of their releases. Currently, Paramount is generally regarded as the smallest major film studio, accounting for under 10% of combined box office revenue. However, 2022 proved exceptionally strong for them, primarily because Top Gun: Maverick became that year's highest-earning film. That performance significantly exceeded anything else they'd recently released, though unfortunately, it doesn't appear suitable for franchise development with annual blockbuster installments. Paramount's most financially successful franchise ever remains Transformers, though it peaked financially in 2011 with Dark of the Moon. Subsequent entries have generated progressively less revenue, and Michael Bay hasn't directed since the fifth installment. The key point here is that unlike competing studios, Paramount lacks multi-billion-dollar franchises capable of generating dependable annual revenue. Today, their most valuable properties are likely Mission Impossible and Sonic the Hedgehog, both performing well, but not quite at the level the company requires currently. TV media, I've been discussing movies throughout because Paramount is predominantly recognized as a film studio. However, the Paramount Corporation has undergone substantial transformations to where filmed entertainment now represents merely 10% of total revenue. Their largest segment accounts for 64% of revenue, TV media. Sumner Redstone, a controversial figure, primarily orchestrated Paramount's merger with various television networks. In 1987, his family's company National Amusements purchased Viacom for $3.4 billion, which already controlled multiple cable networks, including MTV, Nickelodeon, and Showtime. He subsequently added more channels like Comedy Central and BET. The pivotal moment came in 1994 when Viacom acquired the majority stake in Paramount for approximately $10 billion. This transaction deeply connected Paramount's fortunes to television's performance. The situation became more complex in 1999 when Viacom further invested in television by purchasing CBS. They separated in 2006, then reunited in 2019. In 2022, the company operating under Viacom CBS rebranded as Paramount Global. I recognize this represents one of the more complicated corporate structures regarding naming and organization, but the Paramount name now encompasses far more than just a film studio. There's almost irony in how Paramount struggled when television first gained popularity in the 1950s, and now Paramount struggles because television is declining in popularity. This aspect is relatively straightforward. People cut the cord by canceling cable packages and subscribing to streaming platforms instead, or simply watching YouTube and similar services. This trend has persisted for some time, negatively impacting Paramount. TV media revenue has been consistently declining, which is problematic when TV media constitutes the company's majority. In 2024, Paramount reduced the valuation of its cable TV operations by $6 billion, occurring one day after Warner Bros. Discovery made a comparable $9 billion write-down. Essentially, television channels are struggling broadly across the industry. Interestingly, when Viacom and CBS initially merged in 1999, the combined entity was valued at $80 billion. When they merged again 20 years later, the new company's value had dropped to $30 billion. Today, the market capitalization has fallen to approximately $8 billion. Direct to consumer. Since the world appears to be shifting away from conventional television and Paramount has limited ability to alter that trend, they seem interested in transitioning away from it as well and focusing on alternative areas. Paramount's third and newest division is direct to consumer, featuring multiple streaming platforms, including Pluto TV, which they acquired in 2019 for $340 million, but primarily Paramount Plus. Launched in 2021 as a redesigned version of CBS All Access, I can finally present some more encouraging data, showing how Paramount Plus has accumulated 77 million subscribers. This represents their most rapidly expanding segment, essentially their only expanding segment, with revenue more than doubling since launch, now comprising over a quarter of their business. While this sounds promising, there are significant drawbacks. First, 77 million subscribers is substantial, but perhaps insufficient. When they rebranded in 2022, they announced a goal of reaching 100 million Paramount Plus subscribers by 2024, so they're clearly falling short of their own targets. Additionally, 77 million subscribers lags considerably behind larger platforms like Netflix, which recently exceeded 300 million. Remember that Paramount carries substantial debt and has been urgently seeking cost-cutting opportunities, so they don't possess the same financial capacity to invest in content as some competitors. When comparing stock valuations, Netflix is worth almost 50 times more, illustrating how far behind the industry leader Paramount Plus remains. Perhaps most troubling is that Paramount Plus hasn't generated any profit yet. They've invested billions into the service without tangible returns. While losses have been shrinking and they claim to be approaching profitability soon, considerable uncertainty remains. It's not ideal when your most profitable division is contracting while your fastest-growing division isn't profitable, and there's substantial debt requiring attention. Following where everything leads from here will be fascinating. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about Paramount. Will these recent actions be sufficient to extract them from their situation, or do you believe they'll continue struggling? What must they do to revive the business? We've witnessed them recover multiple times previously, so how can they accomplish it again? I should mention there have been other factors working against them, such as the $50 million severance payment to former CEO Bob Bakish or the impact of recent labor strikes. But this video concentrated on what I consider the fundamental issues. Also, I'm curious what your favorite Paramount property is. I realize many might simply think of them as that opening graphic before films, but Paramount has produced numerous iconic works. Share any other thoughts about Paramount or anything else in this video in the comments. I'd appreciate hearing your perspective. Thank you for watching.